I'm sitting here with Ryan Hayes, and we are brothers, and it is St. Patty's Day, 2013.
Sure and Bigara, happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Ryan is going to be on The Voice for some amount of time. We don't know how long. We really don't know anything about it other than you're going to appear. I kind of wanted to do this interview just to kind of take a snapshot of this moment, because from here on out, your life could feasibly be much different than it is today. So we're kind of in a neat little moment. So I wanted to kind of try and capture that. I kind of wanted to start with and do this in several phases. The first phase, of course, would be your earliest years. Let's paint the picture of the facts. You lived in Brigham City, Utah. There's six siblings. It seemed to me that during those years, one of the things you enjoyed, and I'll highlight several, one of them was being alone. You kind of enjoyed the hiding in the cupboard type thing, figuring out ways to just kind of hide and be alone.
I think when I was young, I used to, well, I still do, find quiet, dark places where I can imagine things, and that's where I would always go when I was young, is to imagine things. I used to go behind the couch and under the tables and in the bread box or under the sink and just imagine things, which is kind of weird, I guess, because everything's kind of dark there.
Was there a lot of dinosaurs at that time in your head?
A lot of dinosaurs in my head, a lot of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those being big for you. Yeah, that's right.
Ninja Turtles were pretty big.
So that's one thing I saw about you. Also, another thing was the love that stood out to me was the love of animals, and dinosaurs, seemingly in particular, were kind of fascinating to you. I remember you mimicking their movements and just knowing a lot about them.
I really was always really into animals, and I think I lost touch with that for a little bit when I was a teenager, but I'm kind of back into it now. I study geology and paleontology, and I do a lot with the historical evolution of animals and things like that. It really drives me.
Yeah, I know that when we go to Mom and Dad's house, one of the things you seem to always need to pick up is the National Geographic magazine. Seems like that's something that really interests you.
It's my favorite magazine.
There we go. Okay.
Geology, geography, biology, all of those things mixed with really great photography. It's a perfect magazine.
Oh, there we go. And the other thing I wanted to just bring up is the fact that I don't know how big a part singing was in your life at that time. I know that we sang in church and we sang for family home evening, just as a family, a little bit, but
I don't think I ever aspired to be a singer, and I, up until very recently, didn't really know I was one. But I've always loved music. In fact, sometimes we'd put on records. I would put on a record of Mom's and go find a dark hole and lay in there and just listen to the music and imagine things. Yeah, it's easier, I think, to imagine things when you don't have a lot of distractions, when you can just kind of put yourself in a little cave and let your mind work instead of your eyes. And that's what music is to me. It's kind of a visual experience, so it doesn't matter where you are. You can see it. And I do know that I always loved music, but I didn't start making music until I joined the symphonic band in the 5th grade and played trumpet all the way until my senior year, but it was definitely very hard to create using the trumpet, because you have to be a master of the trumpet to know a note, take a note from your brain and put it into physical form. For some reason it's really hard on an instrument like the trumpet. So it took a while for me to develop the skills necessary to be able to songwrite, which is, I identify myself as a songwriter more than a musician.
Do you find that when you are listening to a piece of music, you have the same visualization with the same song, or can the same song give you completely different experiences?
No, it's infinite experiences you can have with a single piece of music or a single line of music.
Do you find that it breeds more creativity as you listen to that?
I don't think it's necessary to listen to music to be creative, but music that other people have done definitely inspires you. You know, it makes you think things that you never thought before, and you know, going back and listening to a record or something that I used to listen to as a kid, I will probably maybe it wouldn't be the same experience now because I would look at the music differently, but I would probably remember certain feelings, certain maybe even smells, or it would conjure up different things that I may have remembered just from a certain chord or a certain melodic run or something.